Greetings, Exile. Are you sick of Maven's games, Cyrus Die speeches, or Lycia's bloodbaths? Well then, meet Sir Bonksalot, the Juggernaut ready to knock sense into them all. Elder, Shaper, Uber bosses, you name it. Don't believe me? Well, let him show you some bonking proof. Satisfied? Then let's delve into the equipment and nuances of Sir Bonksalot's robust melee build. But before we explore the gear, let's weigh the pros and cons of this formidable character. Boasting over 100k armor, 10 endurance charges, 75% all resistances, and an impressive 80% max chaos resistance, capable of navigating through challenging content, including running 100% delirious maps. Effectively stuns most content in the game, even on a modest budget. Multiple rage generation sources result in an extended berserk duration. Need to engage enemies up close for optimal effectiveness. Knockback effects can be disruptive, unable to run certain maps which include no regen, physical reflect, and reduced life recovery rate. Endgame gear comes at a substantial cost. Sir Bonksalot's weapon of choice is a Shaper-influenced pile driver for its reduced stun threshold implicit and highest base attack speed among maces, making it ideal for building trauma stacks. The weapon prefix contains a +2 to level of socketed melee gems mod, raising the level of heavy strike and other gems by 2. It also has a Shaper mod providing 20% more attack damage to socketed skill gems. Lastly, the prefix contains an Aisling Unveiled mod of increased physical damage and chance to impale. As you have noticed, we don't have any flat physical damage in prefixes, we get all of it from trauma stacks. In our suffixes, we prioritize a Tier 1 attack speed mod. It also has a Shaper mod, which makes enemies explode on death, making our clears smoother. Lastly, we have a bench-crafted 10% chance to deal double damage. Now, let's discuss the gems used in the mace, which houses our primary damage setup. We start with Heavy Strike, our main skill, linked to the following supports: Endurance Charge on melee stun, Trauma, Ruthless, Awakened Brutality, and Hypothermia. Endurance Charge on melee stun provides 4% more damage per endurance charge, giving us 40% more damage and 20% reduced enemy stun threshold. Trauma is our main support, which provides us stacking flat physical damage. Ruthless support provides 100% more damage every third hit and extended stun duration, especially effective with our high attack speed. Awakened Brutality support grants 45% more physical damage. Hypothermia support offers 30% more hit damage against chilled enemies. Our enemies are always chilled due to skitterbots. If you don't have a skitterbot setup, consider using Mace Mastery to ensure chilled enemies upon hit. Swap out Hypothermia support with Awakened Melee, Splash support for improved clearing during mapping. For gloves, we use Dragon Scale Gauntlets featuring resistances, maximum life, and an Essence Slammed attack speed mod. The implicit on gloves is Perfected Chance to gain rage on hit, triggering no more than every 0.7 seconds, with the Searing Exarch implicit. This provides us with almost 2 rage per second. Additionally, the Eater implicit rolled 20% chance to impale, aiding in achieving a 100% chance to impale. The gloves primarily house our utility supports, including Ancestral Cry for targeting 2 additional enemies, Berserk for more attack damage, attack speed and reduced damage taken, and Vengeance for improved clear. All of these are linked to life tap support, making them cost life instead of mana. For the helmet, we opt for the pig-faced bassinet, offering maximum life, a variety of resistances, notably high chaos resistance, and a bench-crafted 8% of physical damage from hits taken as fire to reduce self-damage from trauma stacks. The helmet implicits include Perfect Tier Eater for increased mana reservation efficiency of skills and Grand Tier Exarch for reduced mana cost of attacks. The helmet houses our movement speed and attack speed setup. It begins with Leap Slam, linked to faster attacks for swifter maneuvers, and includes Blood Rage and Ancestral Protector for additional attack speed. Our body armor is a full dragon scale, boasting substantial armor and evasion. It features a Fractured Essence mod providing onslaught upon getting hit, additional physical damage reduction, and a bench-crafted hybrid mod offering intelligence, along with a 25% chance to avoid being shocked. As for implicits, we have the Perfect Tier Gain a Frenzy Charge every 10 seconds Eater modifier, ensuring a constant supply of frenzy charges all the time. The Exarch implicit enhances Pride with increased aura effect when in the presence of unique enemies, amplifying damage against them. The body armor houses our complete aura setup, beginning with Pride and Skitterbots for increased damage to enemies, Determination for additional armor, Herald of Purity for extra damage, and Dread Banner for an additional chance to impale. All of these auras are linked to a level 4 Enlighten support. For boots, we use Corrupted Unique Dawn Strider boots, providing a 100% increased effect of buffs granted by totems, significantly boosting our attack speed. They also have a corrupted implicit of +1 to maximum endurance charge. The boots house our cast when damage taken setup. We utilize cast when damage taken support linked to Val Molten Shell, Warlord's Mark, and Life Tap. All these gems are set to be at level 1. For the belt, we opt for a Hunter-influenced rare Stygian Vice, featuring a substantial amount of maximum life, armor, and chaos resistance. It also houses an embedded Abyss Jewel providing a 75% chance to avoid being shocked and offering additional life. When combined with the 25% chance to avoid being shocked on our armor, this gives us a total of 100% chance to avoid being shocked. We've equipped a 29% quality Ashes and anointed it with Endurance, giving +1 level to all active skill gems. This ensures a level 21. 20% quality Heavy Strike gem achieves 100% chance to deal double damage with a 10% chance on our weapon. With the same weapon, at least a 27% quality Ashes is needed for 100% chance to deal double damage. For rings, we utilize a synthesized ring with +1 to maximum endurance charge implicit, offering maximum life, attributes, armor, resists, and a bench-crafted, non-channeling skills have -7 to total mana cost modifier. To replicate these benefits, we employ Kalandra's Touch unique ring. When combined with the reduced mana cost of attack skills on our helmet, our attacks have a mana cost of 0. Let's talk about masteries, jewels, and keystones, starting with masteries. First, we have Physical Mastery for a 10% increase in maximum physical attack damage. Next, Two-Handed Mastery gives us 40% increased damage with hits against rare and unique enemies. Moving on to Armor and Evasion Mastery, we gain 8% increased armor and evasion per endurance and frenzy charge. Life Mastery provides a 15% increase in maximum life if there are no life modifiers on our armor. Attack Mastery ensures that non-Val strike skills target one additional enemy. Lastly, for Duration Mastery, there's a 10% increase in skills effect duration. Moving on to Jewels, we are using a Thread of Hope to grab Panopticon and Art of Gladiator, Storm Shroud for ailment immunity since we have a 100% chance to avoid being shocked, Glorious Vanity to convert eternal youth into divine flesh. With the same numbers on the jewel, you gain 11% increased skill effect duration and 7% attack speed from small travel nodes. A 12 passive large cluster jewel with Overlord and 4% increased attack speed per small passive node. 2 passive mana reservation small cluster with uncompromising and 8% increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. Megalomaniac with Heavy Hitter, Battlefield Dominator, and Furious Assault. The main mods to look for are Heavy Hitter and Battlefield Dominator. We use a double Pride Watcher's Eye, which provides us with Intimidate and makes Impale last 2 additional hits. Lastly, we gain Rite of Ruin from Berserker using Forbidden Flesh and Flame jewels. Finally, let's talk about keystones. We use Resolute Technique for a 100% hit chance since this is not a crit build. Divine Flesh to take 50% of elemental damage as Chaos and to raise maximum Chaos resistance to 80%. Call to Arms for instant war cries. Iron Reflexes to convert all the evasion rating we have into armor. Lastly, Unwavering Stance for stun immunity. You can avoid taking this keystone if you are confident that you can always maintain at least 25 rage, since Rite of Ruin makes you stun immune if you have at least 25 rage. For Pantheon, we take Soul of Lunaris as the major Pantheon and Soul of Gruthkul as the minor Pantheon. For Ascendancy, we take Unflinching when we finish Normal Labyrinth, Untiring from Cruel, Unrelenting from Merciless, and lastly, Unbreakable from Uber. Our Wildwood Ascendancy of choice is Warden of the Magi. Our first point goes to allocating Coated Blade, which allows us to use tinctures similar to this. This tincture provides us with rage generation and a lot of melee strike range. These can be quite expensive, but I would suggest that you should look for tinctures with at least 15% chance to gain rage and at least 0.3 melee strike range. For the second point, we take Intensifying Suffusion, which increases the effect of our tincture per empty flask slot. The third point is allocated to Nature's Concoction. For the last point, we take Detect Evil. For SSF and budget builds, I have made a separate POB. Please refer to that if you are on a budget. If you found the guide intriguing, please bonk the subscribe button. Also, let me know if you guys want a crafting video for the weapon in the comment section.